Today, I'm going to be talking about the top 5 most affordable areas to move to in Colorado in 2024. Let's get started. Hi there, Christy Lee here, and I am a local real estate agent in the state of Colorado, but more importantly, I am a native of Colorado. If you're new to my channel, all of my videos are here to help you figure out where the best place to move to is. If that's something that interests you, please click that subscribe button right there. That way you are notified every time I have a new video. Now, as much as I love making these videos for you, I love to hear from you more. So my contact information is right there. Please reach out to me anytime. All right, so now that I've gotten all that out of the way, let's just jump right in. The number 1 area that I think you should consider is Greeley, Colorado. So Greeley is going to be located roughly northeast of Denver, about an hour 10, hour and 15 minutes northeast of Denver. I will be honest and say most people who live in Colorado and have known about Greeley pretty much know that it just stinks. It smells. Yes, it smells like cow. Like my husband says, it smells like money. It's just because it's rural and there's a lot of agriculture up in Greeley. But one thing I will say about Greeley is that it's growing like crazy. In fact, it is the fastest growing city in Colorado. So that is huge for somebody like yourself who wants to move to Colorado, get in at the, the bottom part where the prices are as the houses, and then watch that equity grow. So speaking of house prices, the median house price right now in 2023, 2024, depending on when you're watching this, is going to be $450,000. That'll get you a single family home in the Greeley area. But again, you could get anything actually less expensive than that. I personally just went under contract in a townhome, a brand new townhome up there for an investment for $380,000. So you could get something really inexpensive in this area, and then, like I said, watch it grow. Now, the cool thing about Greeley is, honestly, several things. One, it's going to be close to Fort Collins, and you're going to be close to Loveland. So both of those cities are going to be the major cities surrounding Greeley. So if you're somebody who either works in Loveland or works in Fort Collins, you're going to be able to get to either one of those cities roughly 20 to 30 minutes, depending on where you're at and what part of Greeley, of course. Also, it is a college town, so that is also great, especially if you're an investor and wanting to get in, on the ground level for an investment property. College town is awesome. UNC is out there, so you are going to be able to utilize or take advantage of all those college students going out there. And then if you are also a college student moving out to that area, it's less expensive. It just really is less expensive to be out in Greeley. What else can I talk about? Oh, it is pretty close. I would say it's about an hour and a half to Estes Park. So if you're somebody who loves to go camping, hiking, fishing, you could do all of that definitely in the Greeley area. That goes without saying. But to get to Rocky Mount National Park or Estes Park is only about an hour and a half or so. So you are going to be pretty close to that. One thing I will say about Greeley, though, if you're a skier, snowboarder, anything of the, the winter sports, and you want to utilize or get up to the mountains like Summit County area, it will take you quite a bit longer. Do note that, because you are so far northeast of the mountains in general. So kind of keep that in mind if you're moving to these areas, that it will take you, I don't know, 2.5, 3 hours probably to get to some of those areas, the ski resorts. So it's going to be more of a weekend trip opposed to a day trip. Right, number 2 on my list, and it's going to be the complete opposite side of Greeley, would be Colorado Springs. So Colorado Springs is about 70 miles south of Denver. And one thing that the Springs is known for is its beauty. Like the views out there are unreal, the nature, the outdoor activities. If you're somebody who's into all of that stuff, go to Colorado Springs. You will not be disappointed. It is absolutely gorgeous out there. Now, the median house price out in the Springs is going to be $575,000. That'll get you a single family home out there. Again, a little bit less, a little bit more, depending on where you're going to be located in Colorado Springs, but mainly it's going to be roughly around there. One thing I do love about the Springs is, again, all of the outdoor activities. So you're going to have Pikes Peak, you're going to have the Manitou Incline, Cheyenne Mountain Zoo's out there. You have Garden of the Gods. There's so many outdoor activities out in Colorado Springs, and that's essentially why people love to move out there. One, the cost of living is going to be lower, the cost of obviously houses and all the outdoor activities. One thing I will say about this Springs that some people do or do not know is it's a military town. So you do need to know that prior to going in. I personally moved down there. I wasn't thinking much of it until I moved down there, and it's there. So you have Fort Carson, which is going to be on the south side of Colorado Springs. And then you have the Air Force Academy, which is on the north plate part of Colorado Springs. So you pretty much are going to be surrounded by the military, influence all around you. So that's one thing to be noted, which is also going to be taken into account, which is going to be a lot more conservative down there as well. So, if you're somebody who, leans a different way, it might be a little bit more too conservative for you being down there. But overall, I would say it's a great place to live. I personally lived there for 3 or 4 years. It is absolutely gorgeous, and I love the outdoor experiences that you have down there, and it's growing like crazy as well. So you could get in the lower end of the price spectrum right now, watch the equity grow over time, but you are going to just be a lot farther from Denver. The mountains as well. Well, there's different mountain ranges going to be in Colorado Springs. So you could go skiing in a different area than maybe Summit County. Getting into the airport, Colorado Springs actually has its own airport, but if you need to get to DIA for whatever reason, that's going to be about an hour. So just kind of note that, that it's going to be a little bit farther from some places, but I wouldn't say it's complete opposite of Greeley on the opposite spectrum of, Denver. All right, so number 3 on my list is going to be Aurora. Now, Aurora is huge. In fact, it's the 3rd largest city in Colorado with a population of 390,000 people. So it is very, very large. And there's a lot of different areas within Aurora, but it is going to be greatly priced for somebody who wants to get in, at the lower end of the spectrum when it comes to housing prices. Right now, the median housing price in Aurora is going to be roughly about $600,000. And again, obviously all over the place, depending on what part of Aurora. Now, when I say what part of Aurora, there are different parts. I mean, all on the east side or even the south side, there's huge developments out there right now. They're absolutely gorgeous. You have the views, you have the huge, mansion houses out there. But then more of the internal part of Aurora, like the central part of Aurora, it's going to be a lot different of a feel, a whole lot different of a feel. So definitely recommend talking to a real estate agent or anybody you might know who knows this area to get you an idea of different parts of Aurora, because all of it will feel differently. One thing I will say about Aurora, and one thing I do like about Aurora, is if you're somebody who needs to utilize public transportation, I would say over all the cities that I'm talking about right now, Aurora is going to be your best bet. So if you need to utilize, say, the light rail, RTD, any of that, you're going to have your better chances to get, more convenient RTD stops and all that is going to be in Aurora. And it's mainly just because that's how it's so close to Denver. And that's kind of how the light rail rolls. It's, it's all more Denver city based, where these other ones are going to be so spread out. These Greeley, Colorado Springs are just so much farther from Denver. So if you want to utilize more of that or have more of that Denver inner city feel, Aurora is going to be pretty much where you're going to want to be. If you're somebody who likes the outdoors, there is plenty of that. The Cherry Creek Reservoir is out there. What was the other one? There's plenty of other ones out there, but again, there is going to be, bits and pieces of Aurora that you need to do your own research on for sure. One thing Aurora absolutely is known for as well is extremely diverse. I would say it's probably the most diverse city in Colorado, or at least in the Denver metro area. So if that's something that's very important to you too, Aurora is going to be a great fit for you. You're just going to get more of that city feel when you're living there. I do say that though, more of the inner city. Once you start getting on the outskirts of Aurora, especially where it's being more built, you have more of the new builds out there. It's definitely more spread out, more of that suburbia feel when you get into those parts of areas of Aurora. But again, it's so large. There's so many different aspects of Aurora. But overall, if you want a really great affordable home, that's where I would head. Okay, so now heading back up north is going to be Loveland, and that's going to be number 4 on my list. I personally love Loveland. So Loveland's going to be just north of Denver, right on I-25, roughly about 45 minutes north of Denver. And why I like Loveland so much is that it is so close to Estes Park, Rocky Mountain National Park. You're right there, right at the base of it. It's only going to take you roughly about 45 minutes to get to those areas. So if you do like to be outside, you have obviously Rocky Mountain National Park, Estes Park, Devil's Backbone. You have a bunch of lakes out there too, Boyd Lake, Loveland Lake. There's just so many outdoor activities within Loveland. And that's why a lot of people are, going to these areas up north. You have the beauty is just unreal up there, and the price of housing out there is great. In Loveland right now, your median house price is going to be $500,000. That is going to get you in an amazing house. Actually, a lot of times it'll get you a new build home out there too. So that is something to think about. If you want a new build construction home, head north or head south to Colorado Springs, but head definitely north. You're not going to find that price point really in anywhere in the Denver metro area for sure, especially new builds. Another thing that I absolutely love about Loveland is that they love their art. They love their culture. So they have the Benson Sculpture Park out there. Their main street, like little downtown area, is super, super cute. They have a lot of things going on there as far as shops and restaurants and breweries, coffee shops, things like that. And then Valentine's Day is a huge thing for them out there. People actually will write or send their Valentines to Loveland to have it postmarked from Loveland to be sent out to their loved ones, which is super cool. They have the Loveland, the sign that says love, where you could actually put a locket in and, write something and put a locket in, and it essentially locks your love with your loved one. So they embrace this whole Loveland thing. It is also really, really close to Johnstown, which is up and coming as well. So those two they don't connect, but they really, really are really close to each other. So both of them are kind of one and the same on some parts of the area. So it's really close. You have a lot of up and coming shops out in Johnstown. You have a lot of new restaurants out there. Just Loveland as a whole is just really taking on a whole new vibe than it ever used to be. And I really highly recommend at least looking into that area for cost of living, for affordability, and awesome, awesome views. Okay, and finally, my 5th on the list is going to be Westminster, Colorado. Now, Westminster is actually a really, really great place, mainly for its location to both Denver and Boulder. You really can't go wrong. You're right there, smack dab, kind of right in the middle of it, which I find to be really, really, amazing depending on what you like to do for, work, school, hobby, whatever it might be. You're right there. And you're also really close to the mountains as well. You're roughly maybe less than an hour to get to any of those resorts. So that is a great, great option for Westminster. Westminster is going to be median price is going to be $523,000, and the single family home. Now, one thing I do like about this particular area is that it's really, really revamping itself right now. Westminster kind of went through a whole lull over the last, I would say, 20, 25 years, and it just kind of went a little bit dingy. Now they're really, really trying to revamp itself. Bulldozing a lot of old buildings and building new apartments, new shopping, new movie theaters, things like that. And so they're really, really trying to revamp its look and its style, which I really love because 1, it needed it, and 2, it's just bringing a whole new person and new clientele, new families, all of that stuff to this area, which is amazing. A lot of things that are going on in Westminster. You have the Stanley Lake Reservoir, which is over there. You have things to do like the Butterfly Museum is going to be over there. There's just really cool things. A lot of breweries are going to be in Westminster. So if you like breweries, that's going to be a great area too. But the fact that it is so close to Boulder and Denver, I think is going to speak highly for that particular location. So if you're somebody who really gravitates more of that, medium size suburbia feel, maybe that's something that you're more used to, and it's not so far out from everything else. I mean, you're talking maybe 20 minutes to Denver, maybe 20 minutes to Boulder. So it's more of that, you're going to be tight knit, closer to really everything. a lot of shopping, a lot of things to do, a lot of restaurants. It's just going to be more of that opposed to like, say, Greeley, which is more rural for sure. Colorado Springs, more military. It's just, you know, Westminster, I would just say, is more of that normal thing that you probably see really anywhere in the United States. It's just really more of that normal suburbia feel. So that's why I highly recommend Westminster for that reason as well. All right, so those are my top 5 most affordable cities in 2024 out here in Colorado. If you have any questions, please reach out to me anytime. Remember to click that subscribe button right there. That way you are notified every time I have a new video. And then to the next video, take care.